Okay, this was the question that we were doing yesterday. 3 alarm clocks. Okay, now moving to the next question. Okay, now you do this. I'm giving it to you now. This question was asked in the previous year for 4 marks. Okay, the question is prove that 3 plus 2 root 5 is irrational. Do it.
Ma'am,
Yes.
yeah, I can't hear you.
Yes. What happened?
Okay, it's fine, ma'am. No,
No issues. Done. Okay. Okay. So prove that the number is irrational. Kayan is doing. You can write down the next question. Okay, Dudhnath has 2 vessels containing 720 ml and 405 ml of milk respectively. Milk from these containers is poured into glasses of equal capacity. Have you done the homework questions, children?
No, ma'am, today I'll do.
Okay. In the resource, I have given homework, 2 homework questions I have given. Okay. You know where is resource, no? When you open the WISE app, you have a resource section there. Okay. Now see this. Dudhnath has 2 vessels containing 720 ml and 405 ml of milk respectively. Milk from these containers is poured into glasses of equal capacity to that brim. Find the minimum number of glasses that can be filled. So what will you do in this case? Shayan, what will you do?
We'll find the LCM.
Yes, say it loudly.
We'll find the LCM.
LCM. This you are saying? Yes, this is what you are saying?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. How do you say you will find this? What do you find in the question? What prompted you to?
We have to find minimum.
Huh?
We have to find the minimum number.
Find the minimum. Okay, this word prompted you to. But if you see the language of the question, what is it asking? Milk from these containers is poured into glasses of equal capacity to their brim. That means all the glasses are completely full. So find the minimum number of glasses that can be filled. So that is the number of glasses we need to find out that can be filled. Okay. So here this minimum is not carrying that much value. What this part of the question is carrying. Milk from these containers is poured into glasses of equal capacity to the brim. That means equal capacity to the brim means no space is left. When you divide something by from something, no remainder is left. Are you getting? That completely fills the glasses. And then you have to find the number of glasses. Okay.
Okay.
So what we will do in this case, we are asked to find the HCF of that, because HCF is that number which will fill the number of glasses exactly. Okay. Are you understanding?
Yes.
Now see here, the first vessel has, I'm just writing, you please write down proper statement form. First vessel has the capacity of 720 ml, okay? And the second vessel has 405 ml capacity. Now to find the maximum quantity of milk, what do? We need to take the HCF of 720 and 405. Okay. So when you take the HCF, tell me what is the HCF of this? Find out the HCF.
Ma'am, 45.
40,
5.
45. Are all getting the same HCF? So that means exactly 45 glasses, 45 ml is the capacity of the glass. Okay. This is the capacity of the glass. Now, how will you find the number of glasses? Therefore, number of glasses will be what? You will be dividing by the complete capacity of the vessel. Number of glasses filled from first vessel will be how much?
720.
From first vessel will be by 45. Is it? Are you understanding? First vessel has this much capacity and the capacity of one glass is this much. So how many glasses will be filled by the first vessel? That is, you divide this,
16.
right? And the
Yes.
number of glasses filled by second vessel will be
Ma'am, second is 9.
filled from second vessel will be 405 divided by 45. So you get 9. So that means how many are the total number of glasses? 16 plus 9 gives you 25 glasses. So this is 25 is the total number of glasses. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I hope you have understood this. Even if in the question they don't write the minimum here, no, find the minimum number of glasses that can be filled. Even if they just write find the number of glasses that can be filled. So that would not make any change to the question. Okay. So don't get confused with this minimum here. Try to understand the question also. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So that was the reason I was telling you minimum, maximum words is one thing that you see. Apart from that, you need to understand the language of the question also. Okay, we'll do another sum. Okay, let's do this one. Please write down the question. There are 104 students in class 10th. There are 104 students. Do you want me to write or I'll speak and you write the answer question? There are 104 students in class 10th and 96 students in class 9th. Okay, in a school, in a house examination. House examination means the internal exams that you have. Unit 1, Unit 2, those exams. In a house examination, the students are to be evenly seated in parallel rows. In a house examination, the students are to be evenly seated in parallel rows. As you also must be sitting in your school in different rows, no? During exam days,
Yes, ma'am.
in parallel rows, such that no two adjacent rows are of the same class. Okay. That means if one row is of class 9th, the other row is of class 10th, then again class 9th, and then again class 10th. Like this alternately they are sitting. Okay, now what do you have to find out in this? Find the maximum number of parallel rows of each class for the seating arrangement. Okay, and the second thing that you have to find out is find the number of students Find the number of students of class 9th and 10th in a row. And how many children are sitting in one row? That also you have to find out. So how will you find the maximum number of parallel rows first? There is no row which is half filled. Okay, there are exact number of rows.
Ma'am, what would you mean by adjacent here?
Yes,
Ma'am, what would you mean by adjacent here? Ma'am?
adjacent means one after the other, such that no two adjacent rows. No two adjacent means no two class 10 rows are together. No two class 9 rows are together.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
Now see, in the first case, find the number of students of class 9th and 10th in a row. Now how many rows will find out, but how many students are sitting in one row? How will you get that? 104 are the students of class 9th. So 100, find the factors of 104.
Ma'am, the HCF is 8.
Huh?
HCF is 8.
HCF is 8.
8.
Okay. So HCF is 8 means this gives you what?
Ma'am.
This gives you the number of students in a row.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, number of students in one row. So there are equal number of students in a row, no? Either
Yes,
it is
ma'am.
class 9 or class 10. So number
Yes.
of students in a row. Okay, so that means you have got the second part first. Okay, number of students in this. Now find the maximum number of parallel rows of each class for the seating arrangement. Now, how many rows are there? Now the question has become even more easier. How many rows are there now? You have got number of students in one row, you have got total number of children also, you know here. Okay, total children also you know. And you know the number of students in one row. Now you
Ma'am,
can find out
25.
how many rows are there.
Ma'am, maybe 25.
How?
Ma'am, I just added this 104 and 96. Ma'am. It came to 100. Then I divided it by 8.
Okay. So you took the
Because
total number of
bec-
students, total students, and you divided by 8. Okay, that's also fine. That's also good. Okay. So you found the total number of rows.
yes, ma'am.
And how many rows of class 9th are there and how many of class 10th are there? This is correct that you found out.
Ma'am,
How many rows of class 9th and how many of 10th?
ma'am, 12 rows of ninth
Uh,
and 13 rows of 10th.
Great. That's absolutely correct. Okay, good, Aryan. So,
Thank you.
children, how to find this? Find the maximum number of parallel rows of class 9th and 10th. Is how will you do? Now, see, in your class 9th, in your class 10th, you had 104 students. Total students are 104. And then you divide it by 8, you get 13. That means 13 rows will be there of class 10th. And of class 9th, you have 96 students. You divide it by 8, you get 12. So that means 12 rows are there of class 9th. So the total number of rows are 25. Okay. Okay.
Yes,
Shayan,
ma'am.
Ganandi,
Okay.
Ganandi, you understood the question? Hello? Ganandi isn't there? Ganandi, you understood the question and the solution? Can't hear you. And show me the thumbs up if you have understood. Okay, good. Okay, let's do one more question of. We'll do one more question of this chapter and then I'll discuss and give you the intro for the next lesson that will start. Okay. And there is no end to the practice questions. Okay. Keep this in mind. The sky is the limit. These are only few questions that we are doing. Okay. There is no end to it. We'll keep on doing questions. Whenever we'll do our revision and any test. Okay, please write the question. Amita, Sneha, and Raghav. Raghav, start preparing and keep this collection of questions for your reference. Whenever you are studying for your exams, keep it and go through it. For all persons of an old age home, if Amita, Sneha, and Raghav start preparing cards for all persons of an old age home in order to complete one card in order to complete one card they take 10, 16, and 20 minutes. Now each one of them is taking this much time. One is taking 10 minutes, Sneha is taking 16 minutes, Raghav is taking 20 minutes respectively. If all of them start together, after what time will they start preparing a new card together? Nanandi, read the question. Read and explain the question. Yes, Danandi. Danandi, can you hear me? Read and explain the question. Is your mic working? Say yes or no. Write in the chat box. Is your mic working? Write in the chat box yes or no. Okay, Shreyan, you read the question and explain the question.
Amita, Sneha, and Raghav start preparing cards for all persons of an old age home. In order to complete one card, they take 10, 16, and 20 minutes respectively. If all of them start together, after what time will they start preparing a new card together? So we have to find the LCM here, and I got the answer. It's 80.
So you have to find the, what do you need to find here?
LCM.
LCM. Right, that's right. So to find the earliest time, okay, that they will start preparing a new card together, we need to find the LCM of this. So find the LCM of this.
LCM is 80.
LCM is 80. Okay, so that's minutes. So that means they will start preparing a new card together after 80 minutes. Okay. So this was so simple. As you have done so many questions like this. Yesterday also we did alarm bells, also we did alarm clock and tolling bells also. Okay. Do you want to do more sums on this? Hello?
Ma'am, I
Do you
Ma'am, I
want
would
to do
like
more sums on this, or you want some time to practice? Hello? Or you
I
want
thought
some
we were
time to practice?
I thought we were starting a new chapter.
Yes, that's what I wanted to do. So, but if you want me to practice more sums with you, we'll do. Otherwise, we'll move on to the next chapter. Okay. So by then you must practice these questions and do similar such questions. Okay. And please
Yes,
go through your class 6 book also, NCERT. I told you the lesson playing with numbers. Okay, go through that lesson. This concept was nothing new. In this chapter you had nothing new. The only new thing was that to prove the irrationality of the numbers. That was a new thing for you. The rest, these HCF, LCM questions were all that you have done in your previous classes. In your class 6th, such a junior class you have done. Okay, Shyan, even you must have done.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so if the concepts are not clear to you, you want to review your previous work, so go through those old notebooks, old books. Okay, take from any junior student for a day when their exams get over, go through it. Okay, there is nothing different in those sums. And please practice it. Okay. Okay. So the next chapter that we have now is the polynomials. What do you know about polynomials, children?
ma'am, I know only one definition. Any what is this? Any expression, any algebraic expression that that has a non-negative integral power,
Hmm.
and that's all.
Okay, any algebraic expression with non-negative integral power. Okay, that's partly correct. Okay, Shan, what can you say about a polynomial? What is polynomial? Anything that you know about a polynomial? कैसी दिखती है? क्या होता है उसके अंदर? है ना? कुछ भी बताओ उसके बारे में.
It includes one variable with a degree,
It has one variable, and what else it has?
degrees,
Yes,
they degrees,
variables decrease. Okay, yes, that's also correct. और क्या दिखता है algebraic expression में आपको? कुछ ऑपरेशंस दिखते हैं उसमें, प्लस माइनस मल्टीप्लाई.
yes,
Yes, you can see that. Anything else? और क्या दिखता है? Can you see any numbers there?
yes,
Yes, so those are called coefficients. Okay. Okay, variables are there, x, y. These the unknown things are the variables. The alphabets that you see are the variables. The numbers, the constants that you see are the coefficients. Okay. Then you have operations. Then you have positive integer powers. You see the powers also, no? Sometimes it's written x square, x raised to power 3. Such things are also seen in a algebraic expression, right?
yes.
Okay. So let's begin with that polynomials. This is your chapter. How does it look like? It looks like this. Okay. थोड़ा सा व्यू बड़ा करते हैं, इसको zoom करते हैं. This is how it looks like. Okay. So when you get your book, Shian, you have to buy the books now, no? You haven't bought the books yet.
Hmm.
Okay, so this is how your lesson looks like. You can even read the lesson also. You should always read the lesson as you do for your English, Hindi, and social science for other subjects. You should read the maths lessons also. Okay. We should do also, we should read also. Do means to solve the sums with. Okay. Alongside, you must read also what content is written. So this is all there in the lesson. You will come to know how to find the zeros of a polynomial. Zeros means how to find the solution of a polynomial, how to graphically represent a polynomial, and graphically how do you find out what kind of a polynomial is that. Okay, अभी हम पहले पढ़ेंगे how many types of polynomials are there, what are its zeros, all that we'll study now. Okay, let's open another page. This is polynomials. Right. Now, what is a polynomial? We can write down. Polynomial is an algebraic expression. Polynomial is an algebraic expression with variables, coefficients, operations. वो साइंटिफिक ऑपरेशंस नहीं, मैं कह रही हूँ बायोलॉजी वाले ऑपरेशंस नहीं, घबराओ नहीं. These are mathematical operations. Okay, and then you have positive integer powers. Powers also you can write exponents also. Okay, mathematical operations we are talking about. So polynomial is an algebraic expression with variables, coefficients, operations, and positive integer powers. Now, for example, if I show you write a polynomial here, so you can write like this: x square plus y plus 1. See, I just take a polynomial, any polynomial in two variables. Okay, in your class 9th, you have studied about polynomials in one variables, is it?
Yes, ma'am.
Uh,
Linear equations in one variable.
what happened?
Linear equation in one variable, ma'am.
Linear equation in one variable you have studied. Okay, so see, polynomial means when there are many terms, multiple terms, we call it a polynomial. If there is only one term in a equation, we just call it a monomial. If there are two equations, okay, if there are two terms in an equation, we call it binomial. If there are three terms in an equation, we call it trinomial. Okay, so any term, any equation which has more than one term, we call it a polynomial. Binomial is also a polynomial. Trinomial is also a polynomial. And even more than that, if you have more than three terms, that's all included. We call it a polynomial. Poly means many. Okay, polynomial. Now here you can see this is the positive integer exponent. Okay, Shyan. This is the variable. Here x and y are the variables. This is the constant, and if you have any number here, suppose if you have any number here with the coefficient, this is called the coefficient. Any number with the variable is called coefficient. Okay, this is variable. This is positive power. This is exponent, you can say. Okay, this is the constant term. This is also one term. This is a three-term equation. This is a constant term where there is no variable. When there is no variable in the term, we just write it as, we just call it as a constant term. Now coming to the degree of polynomial. Anyone knows what is degree of a polynomial?
Ma'am, highest power of a term.
Yes. The highest power of a variable is called the degree of the polynomial. So we can write down highest power of the variable. Highest power of the variable. For example, I'll show you here. Now suppose if you have some equation x squared plus x plus 1. Suppose you have this equation. Now in this case, which is the highest power in this? Look here, both Ganamdeep, Shayan, Aryan. See here the power is x का power क्या है यहाँ पे 0. Anything with the power 0 is 1 only, no? So 1 multiplied by 1 will be 0. Okay. Here the power of x is 1. When nothing is written means the power is 1. And the highest power is 2 here, the next. So zx with the power 0, then 1, then 2. So which is the variable with the highest power? That is this. This is the highest power of the variable. So what is the power? The power is 2. So what is the degree of this polynomial? It's 2. Okay. Okay, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now we have these kind of polynomials. Linear polynomial. You must have heard about this in your class 9. Linear polynomial. Linear means when the degree is 1. Okay. Linear means with degree 1, whose highest degree is 1. We call such kind of polynomials as linear polynomial. Then we have quadratic. Quadratic polynomial. Children, in this chapter, we will mainly learn about quadratics. Okay. Linear you have already done in your previous class. In this chapter, we will mainly deal with quadratic polynomials. Okay. Then polynomial whose degree is 3, highest power is 3. We call it as cubic polynomial. Okay. Whose highest degree is 3. Right? Linear polynomial is that polynomial whose highest degree is 1. Quadratic whose highest degree is 2. Cubic whose highest degree is 3. Okay. Okay. Now coming to zeros of a polynomial. Zero of a polynomial. Now what is zero of a polynomial? We spoke about degree and now we are talking about zero of a polynomial. What is zero of a polynomial? Zero means you can say the solution of a polynomial, the root of the polynomial. So then when I speak about the solution of a polynomial, means I'm calling a zero of a polynomial. So these are the synonyms that are used in maths. Zeros, roots, solution also you can say. What is the solution of the polynomial? Means the answer of the polynomial. How do you get the answer of the polynomial? By finding the value of the variable. Okay. When we find the value of the variable, जब हम किसी variable का value निकालते हैं, यानी कि when we find the value of x, suppose if x is the variable, we find the value of x. So that gives us the solution of the equation. Is it? So that is called the zero of a polynomial. Okay. So the number of zeros, now I have said a quadratic polynomial is that which has degree 1. So first we'll speak about linear polynomial. Linear polynomials हम शुरू करेंगे. So the number of zeros, you know, linear means what? Linear means when you plot a graph of any linear equation, you always get a straight line graph. Is it? Is that? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
That you have done in your previous class, class 9. When you have a linear equation, you plot a graph out of that linear equation, you always get a straight line graph. Okay. So the number of zeros. Now what does that straight line represent? अगर आपको ऐसे कोई भी हमने graph बनाया and you get some straight line like this.
No.
Okay. So what does it represent? That means just by looking at the graph, you can find out how many solutions this linear equation has. So if this intersects the x-axis at one point, that means it has one solution. I'll show you how. Number of zeros of linear polynomial. I'll show you how. We'll do it graphically also and we'll solve the equation also. Both ways I'll show you. So the number of zeros of the polynomial, this we are going to start first. Okay, so linear polynomial always has a straight line graph. Okay, let's consider some linear equation. We call it say ax plus b. Okay, linear equation किस तरह से होती है? It's like this, ax plus b. Right? जिसमें highest power is 1 here, where this a is non-zero. A is not equal to 0. A अगर equal to 0 हो जाएगा तो क्या हो जाएगा? This complete first term will be 0 and we are left with only just b. Okay, which does not form an equation because there is no variable and nothing, no equality. So this linear equation has exactly 1 0. अभी मैंने आपको बताया कि linear equation जो है, it intersects the x-axis at just one point because it is a straight line graph, so it intersects at just one point. So it has exactly 1 0. Okay, we'll do it graphically also now. Let me take an example of any equation. Okay, now graphically we'll see. Now suppose I have the polynomial equation, say 3x plus 4. Okay, this is the linear polynomial equation that I have. Now, अभी graph plot करने के लिए हमें क्या चाहिए? We need to have the values of x and y. पर हमारे पास यहाँ पे क्या है? Okay, we just have x here. So if I give some value to my x, correspondingly I will get my value for y. This you have studied in your class 9th, dependent variable and independent variable. Do you remember that? What is dependent variable? What is independent variable?
Ma'am, dependent.
Say it loudly, Arif.
Ma'am, y is the dependent.
Yes, y is dependent and x is independent variable. Why we call it independent means it depends, y depends on the value of x. So
Yes.
y is dependent on x. Okay. If suppose I take some value of x, so correspondingly I will get some value for y also. So that means if I put here minus 1 here, so what will I get here? Minus 3. So 4 minus 3 will be 1. If I put here, if I take my x to be minus 2, then what will this be? Minus 6. So 4 minus 6 will be minus 2. If I take my value of x to be 0, I will take all small numbers because small numbers are easier to plot. Okay, so if I take 0 here, so this whole term becomes 0 and my value of y will be 4. Then if suppose if I take my value of x to be 1, so I have here 3. 3 plus 4 gives me 7. If I take it 2, 2 3s are 6, 6 plus 4 gives me 10. So these are the values. Okay. So as I was taking the value of x, correspondingly I was getting my value for y. So this was independent. Okay. X was choosing values of its own and this was dependent. Okay. Because this was depending on the values of x. Okay. Understood now? What are independent variables and dependent? Okay. Now let's plot this. Now I have here, this side is the positive x-axis. This side is my negative x-axis.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you, Vichit.
I was having mic problem.
Okay. Okay, so let's see now. Now when I have my value of x minus 1, my value of y is positive 1. So it is, that means this dot is here. When I have my value, x value is minus 2, I have my y value also minus 2. So this is minus 2 here and minus 2 here. Are you understanding like this? How do we plot? You must be having graph papers with you. You can plot it on the graph paper. So when my x is 0, 0 means this origin, where x is also 0, y is also 0. So that time the value of y is 4. So value of y is 4 somewhere here. Okay. So value of y is 4 here. When x is 0, that means here. At this line, the value of x is 0 and y is 4. And when it is 7, when x is 1, y is 7. Y is 7 means somewhere here on top. 5, 6, 7. So somewhere here on top. Then if value is 2, x is 2, y is still higher there. Let's keep it somewhere high up here. So when you join these points, what do you get? If I join these points now, I'm just roughly doing, but you do with the scale. Okay, so just join these points. So what did we see here? That I get a straight line. When you join this with the scale, what will you find? That you're getting a straight line. Okay, and this line is crossing this x-axis at one single point. So this is that point where this line, linear polynomial, straight line, is passing through x at this point. That is somewhere between -1 and -2. Okay. Okay, so this point lies between -1 and -1 and -2. So we can say that this has exactly one solution. What do you mean by solution? That means
Answer.
that point where,
The final product.
yes, the final product, that means that point for which I will put the value and my value of the equation will become 0. So now this point, how will I get this point? Even if I do it, solve this equation, I equate this to 0, what will I get my value of x? That is -4/3. Okay. Can you see this? So that means this value lies between -1 and -2. Now algebraically also we have seen, geometrically also we have seen. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
0 of a polynomial means that value of the polynomial, that number of the polynomial, that value of x of the polynomial for which you get its value to be 0. किस point पर equation की value 0 के बराबर हो जाती है, that value is called the 0 of the polynomial. Okay? Okay, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm
So this
timing.
straight line, you can see it intersects at x-axis. Okay, at just one point. So we call this point as a 0 of a polynomial. This point is called the 0 of a polynomial. Right, children? I hope you have understood till here. Hello,
Yes.
Ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
all three of you. Anyone,
ma'am.
anyone has a doubt?
No, ma'am.
Shayan, Ganandi,
No, ma'am.
Aryan.
No, ma'am.
Okay, so let's wind up for today. Okay, we'll continue this. We have a class now on Thursday.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
day after tomorrow. By then you must practice this. Okay, whatever we studied about polynomials, and please practice the previous chapter questions also that we did. Okay, what are polynomials? What things are there? So today we spoke about degree of a polynomial and 0 of a linear polynomial, right? And in the next class, we'll be discussing about zeros of quadratic polynomial also, zeros of cubic polynomial also, graphically also and algebraically also. Right? I hope you have understood this.
Yes, ma'am.
Was the class helpful today?
Yes, ma'am.
Sure?
Yes, ma'am.
Great.
Bye,
So
ma'am.
see you. Bye. See you
Bye,
day
ma'am.
after tomorrow. Bye-bye. Good
Bye.
night.